Why? Why? That's horrible. Horrible. Wait, why are you so upset? Why? You know why. Victoria, Chitsuba, what could have happened? I don't know, but we need to get down there immediately. Quickly now.
Hey, Victoria. Does it hurt?
Soon, her desperate yelps became pain gulps of water.
Now you know how much it hurt me.
She's dead. Ready to see if this person got drowned? Let's find out.
We've surely walked this whole forest by now. Yeah, it gets dark here early. Most people don't come down here.
But we've checked everywhere else, and this is the only place we haven't. Let's split up again.
What is that?
What was that? I hear something.
Could Chitsuba be now eating Victoria?
Ah, that stench is rancid. Must have been a fish that washed up from the lake.
Huh.
The sound is coming from there. It could be dangerous. Be careful.
As we moved closer to where the sound came from, what we saw mortified us. It's Chitsuba eating Victoria's corpse. Am I gonna see that?
What the... is that...
Ah!
It's just like that monster we saw in the hut.
No, this is different.
No!
Liliana let out a shrill cry as her finger pointed shakily ahead. What Liliana pointed out was our classmate's bloody cross name tag. It read, Victoria Millet.
Don't tell me that the thing killed Victoria.
It's already eaten her. Is it trying to say don't come this way?
It sees us.
Is that Chitsuba now? Did Chitsuba turn into that thing?
Does it think we're dessert? Guys, get ready.
This is not good. What the hell?
Watch out! My turn.
Well, this isn't good.
Good. Good.
I'm just... Ooh.
Good.
I feel like this thing must be Chitsuba now.
Good.
Damn, like Victoria had a dark fate. She got drowned and I saw it coming. can take a little bit of this.
Roddy, I'm leaving it to you. Explode! I'm angry.
Actually, the question is, if that thing has Victoria's name tag, and if that isn't Chitsuba, what happened to Chitsuba? How did I miss them?
Here I go. Okay. Good work.
Good thing for that super knockback. It's still alive. I thought it was about to get all of its health back. I was about to get mad. You sure love to attack.
Everyone, sorry.
Are you kidding me? You're still going?
Let's go.
Oh my god. That didn't just happen, did it? Oh. Oh, 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 oh. Oh no. Get up, get up. You gotta get up. You need to stand.
There.
Oh, oh no.
How about this?
Thank you.
I'll heal you.
Thank you.
There was no need for that.
Thought of something.
Oh well, you just figured out revive. Oh my god. Oh my god, we're gonna die.
Here I go.
Sorry.
Oh my god, we're really dying.
Its weakness is...
How am I supposed to attack when it does this?
All right.
Damn it.
I'll heal you. I appreciate it.
I'll heal you.
Thank you.
Get better.
Thank you.
Oh my god.
This isn't good.
I don't like how many turns this
I'll
thing
look for
gets.
information. All right. I'll heal you.
Another hit. Once more. It's my turn.
Like, I don't know what's going on. Why does it get to attack us so much? I really need to actually get some grinding done if this is gonna happen.
Okay. Up and away! Get out of my... Power is overflowing!
Oh, what is happening? Please stop attacking the same person!
Sorry!
Its weakness
Oh. What is happening?
is... All right.
How is this happening?
I'll heal you.
Ew, thanks!
I'll heal you.
Thanks!
I'll try this. I'll go.
I'm getting these skills at just random dude.
Another hit! Once more!
I feel power overflowing.
Okay. Yeah!
Get out of my way.
Yeah! Here I go!
Hit that mine. Yes, thank goodness.
It's gone!
Good job, Roddy.
Yep, you did a great job too, Mai.
Whew!
Look, I got stronger!
That thing was trouble. I need to get some level grinding, for real.
Did we beat it?
Or we could just call that the first official boss fight.
It's no longer moving.
I think it's done. Roddy, Liliana, you two okay?
I'm fine. I as well. How about you, Mai? You fought the hardest. You worry me.
I'm fine, I promise. But that monster is still moving.
I took a glance at Victoria's mutilated remains when I noticed the monster was still alive.
Ladies, get back! It's not dead yet.
Oh, it doesn't let up! It seems fairly weakened. It might bleed out if we leave it be.
No, let's finish it.
Sure. We may come to regret it if we don't. By the way, did either of you notice it spoke our language?
That's why I'm feeling like, is that Chitsuba?
Oh, yeah. What if, hypothetically, these monsters are humans afflicted by the curse?
Humans?
It looked likely. The existence of shadow matter meant curses were on the table. Besides, coincidence or not, Chitsuba was still nowhere to be found.
Then do you think the monster can be saved?
If it used to be human, maybe.
But if it still retains some humanity, I want to save it.
Honestly, would we want to save Chitsuba? I don't even think that we would.
I'd like to save it too.
Well, if we're saving it, we have to go near it.
I don't know about you, but that sounds like a bad idea. What do you think, Mai?
Oh, I'd have to go through this whole fight again. No, finish it. I don't care.
Let's kill it.
Kill it.
But someone's in there.
Well, was in there.
Kill it dead. If it's Chitsuba, I'm still killing her because she kind of murdered Victoria.
But it's a monster now. If we let it live, it may hurt someone else. If that someone turns out to be either of you, I'd regret it forever. You may think I'm cold, but I would kill to keep my loved ones safe.
And also, I'm not as dumb as I was in Death and Request 1 when I tried to save a guy and he choked the crap out of Shina.
Okay. I also couldn't bear to see either of you hurt.
I'm not doing that mistake again.
Sorry, Mai. I wasn't thinking.
But the other reason is, even if that didn't happen before, which actually, I only just now remembered that, honestly. But like, if this is Chitsuba, I think she might as well as just be dead.
That's not true. Roddy, Liliana, you're both kind. Thanks for understanding.
What if this was a mistake? Call me horrible, but if cruelty protects those I love, so be it. I stood confidently in front of the writhing, groaning creature. In one swift motion, I ensured it never had to feel again.
We didn't make it in time. Maybe Chitsuba got away.
If only we made it sooner. Victoria might have been spared this fate.
Victoria. Chitsuba. Victoria. Chitsuba. You must have been terrified. I'm so sorry.
It's sad because they feel so upset because they feel like they just didn't make it in time, that they were murdered by this creature. No, it's not their fault. This happened hours ago. Victoria has been dead for hours. And Chitsuba, assuming that really was hers, the monster, had been that way for hours too. There was nothing they could have done. It's over, it's done. Call me heartless. I realized the clothes on Victoria's corpse were so... Wait. That says sopping wet. That's supposed to be soaking.
Did
Wait, maybe sopping works.
All in the lake?
I don't know. I've never seen anyone ever say sopping.
We need to tell my mother what happened to Victoria. Leaving Victoria here in this state would be awful. I think we should head back to the dorm. I bet my mother's noticed by now that we're not in our rooms. Right. Good point.
Victoria drowned in my dream too. Was that monster Chitsuba?
The thought repulsed me. I winced so hard I felt my pores close up.
Hey, Mai. You're not staying out, are you?
Oh, right. Let's head back now.
I desperately want to believe I'm wrong. The alternative is unthinkable. After explaining the situation to Headmistress Mija, Roddy and I returned to our rooms. Just like before, the Headmistress refused to believe a word we said, despite all the proof we had. She claimed Victoria was attacked by a feral dog, and that she and the staff would search for Chitsuba in the morning. I got to thinking about everything I had seen at Wordsworth. The mysterious events around here becoming too frequent to be coincidental. Vina, my boy, was adopted by a foster family who urged her to leave in the middle of the night. Sarah and Anne were abducted, and we saw monsters wandering into town that night. Now Chitsuba's missing. Victoria's corpse shows up half mauled. The scene. See, why is it not voiced now? Hopefully in editing I remember to fix this, because it's the same thing, so hopefully in editing I put the scene back in here. Because, like, why is it doing it like this? Why take the voices out? You know, the game was updated to fix things like this. I recall seeing Chitsuba's face warping into something primal, something monstrous. Was it just like I dreamt? Did Chitsuba let Victoria drown in the lake? When we found her corpse, her clothes were drenched. The foul creature chewed on her hurriedly, as if it pinned for their flesh to be won. There were times when Chitsuba's love for Victoria seemed too intense, almost suffocating. What could I do? The more I thought about it, the more it made sense. If that really was Chitsuba, I feared even more for Sanae. Maybe. No, that's impossible. Mai, what's going on? Oh, sorry, it's nothing. Can't shake what we saw tonight. I can't help but think about all the weird stuff that's happening. Right, I'm right there with you. I'm a ball of nerves. I wonder what's happening right now under our noses. I don't know. But if this is all God's plan, I've got some choice words for him. My mother seems so upset. So upset too. Goodness, why can't things be normal? I knew it. I've got your number now. You think I didn't get it. You thought this whole time I wasn't suspicious for a reason. You thought I was but a fool. No. You don't fool me. Ain't that right, puppy? Those two are done. Poor little girls. What a bitch. Chapter 4 complete. A few days had passed since both Victoria died and Chitsuba disappeared. Students walked through a dreary fog that hung low on one somber morning. Dawn yet to break in full, but I was called in by an unexpected acquaintance.
Come on in. It's open.
Finally, we're gonna talk more with Shina. We gotta team up with Shina now. Like really, full on. We gotta start knowing where Arata is. Because stuff is going bad. We need Arata Mizunaishi. I entered her home, making sure not to stray too far from the door. Her reasons for calling me were unknown to me. The timing of our meeting, along with her insistence I come alone, indicated secrecy to uphold. Regardless, I knew it unwise to let my guard down.
What do you want?
You seem defensive, though I can't say I blame you.
She relaxed her shoulders. For a moment, it almost seemed as though she let up a facade.
If you have business with me, make it quick. I'm sure you didn't invite me over just to chat.
You're right. But before that, don't call me you. It's Shina. You can trust me when we're alone.
Is this all you wanted to tell me?
No, it's an important matter. I swear. Mind if I call you my... Well, I already do.
Whatever, I don't care. Do as you please.
I prevented myself from making eye contact by staring at the space between my feet.
She's adorable!
What's the matter, Shina?
Right. I have something important to discuss with you. You must have noticed things at Les Shawara and Wordsworth have been worse than normal lately.
I knew it. She's no maid. She's either someone trying to prevent whatever the hell's going on here, or she's involved.
I don't know what you mean. Give me an example.
Well, students are dying or disappearing. There's a strong possibility the shadow matter have something to do with it. No one seems to notice, but I'm starting to think too many deaths and missing persons makes a pattern. Do you agree?
Right. Can't argue there. I had a similar inclination.
This town is just too suspicious. When I first arrived in Les Shawara, I immediately picked up on its peculiar energy.
So did I.
I thought at first it was because it was mountainous, isolated. But I don't think that's it.
You're right. It's beyond peculiar at this point. There's something seriously wrong here.
As Shina and I spoke, my nerves began to soothe. Perhaps we shared a kinship, us being outsiders of the bizarre village. I mean, like, you should be soothed. This woman is also a protagonist. I'd say that Death and Request 1 is like dual protagonist with Arata and Shina. Or, you know, you always have your main hero and heroine. While I was conscious of being too trusting, I appreciate speaking with someone who could validate my observations.
Shina, when you mention shadow matter to people, do they shrug you off?
Not everyone can see them, which is why no one believed us when Anne and Sarah were abducted.
Yes. The occult is a hard sell for people. Mentioning it only seems to confuse them more, so now I just keep it to myself. Unless they're like you. Know what I mean?
You're nice for an adult. Why is that? Not that I trust you.
Well, Victoria, the girl who died. They say her body was mauled by a wild animal after she drowned. So they claim. But it's not true. Victoria was attacked by a monster, wasn't she?
That's right. Drowning may be what killed her, but a monster for sure ate her corpse.
I can't believe you fought it. You've got more guts than anyone here. I used to fight them too.
I didn't know that. You look like you couldn't harm a fly, let alone a monster.
Oh no, she kicked ass.
Is that a compliment? I'll take it. As long as it was a compliment. Was it?
You're weird.
Haha. When Shina smiled, I couldn't help but respond in kind. I didn't even fake it, and was sincere. Maybe I thought I could trust her, in a different way from how I trusted Roddy, or so I thought.
What brought you here, Shina? I can't imagine being a maid here pays well.
Right. The reason why I'm here is to find clues on the whereabouts of a missing person.
Is it Arata? Wait a minute, no, that's not good if Arata's missing.
I came to find Sanae. Shina's searching for someone too. Who are you looking for? Your lover? Or family?
It's not like he's my boyfriend or anything. He was a mentor of mine. I owe a lot to him.
Mm-hmm. It's Arata. And I'm pretty sure that they both have crushes on each other.
Is that so?
I inferred from Shina's panic reaction that she had a crush on this person, which was dumb for someone her age.
His name is Arata Mizunashi. He's amazing. Not just for our company, but to me too.
He is?
One day, he sent me this message.
Shina, I'm heading to a town called Leshawara. There's a chance we'll find bugs there.
Oh, that's not Arata's original voice. Well, that's kind of sad. If there's even a chance we might hear Arata scream, it's not going to be as good as the last one. I mean, yeah, I had him off the whole time, but I actually watched the Twit Gamer with his playthrough after I beat the game. And man, the voice actor for Arata in the first game was phenomenal with his screams.
If I find anything there while I investigate, I'll notify you immediately.
Bugs? You mean, like a glitch? How can there be bugs in Leshawara?
I don't really know. I'm not much of a programmer. All he told me was that fate brought him here. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm not making much sense, am I?
Well, it doesn't matter. So, this Mizunashi guy came here to investigate something related to his work, right?
Yes, but that was the last message I got from him.
Oh, I hope Arata isn't dead. That would be bad. Because, yeah, in the first game, Arata never died. Or no, wait. Is that wrong? No, I think it was Shina that the deaths were counted. Because I don't think in the first one Arata ever died. He was very close to dying in the ending where Tokiwa was murdered. But he didn't die there. But he talked about how he reset a whole lot. So, if Arata himself was killed, what would happen? I don't like the thought of that.
I drove myself crazy waiting for him, so I decided to follow his tracks. At first I came here as a visitor, but I found being an outsider difficult. I couldn't get anyone to divulge any info. I realized that working at Wordsworth might be my only chance at digging up any dirt.
Ah, hence why you're a maid. I guess in that sense, we're not so different.
I began to see what affinity we shared. Shina came to Wordsworth in search of someone dear to her. It was an unspoken bond between us. That's why I felt safe.
You're looking for your little sister, Sanae.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you and I understand each other more than we think.
Aw. Shina and I exchanged a friendly glance and a warm smile.
Hi, why don't you and I work together? No secrets. From now on, we share everything we find.
Didn't I suggest that when I saw you at the publishing house? You blew me off. Well, whatever. I trust you, Shina. No secrets. I promise.
In that moment, Shina and I put our heads together to achieve a common goal.
Thank you, Mai.
No need to thank me. So, what else have you found since you started working at the dorm?
If you're asking about your sister, I'm sorry. I know nothing. However, on my end, I have proof Mizunashi was here. But all I found was his laptop, not the man himself.
Wait, the PC you gave me, was it his?
Yes, but I didn't know how to deactivate the security protocol, so I couldn't use it.
I feel... Oh, jeez. How long was he... Oh, no, No, something bad happened to Arata, because if he's without his laptop, there's not much he can do without it. He's still got the slave pen, right? It suddenly came to mind that this cursed PC almost killed me.
Why would he use such dangerous anti-hack tech? Is he stupid?
I used to think that about him too. But he's not that kind of guy. Unless it's his personal PC with all his weirdo games.
What? Weirdo?
It got me thinking about what kind of trouble he got into if he needed the security. I'm worried. I was hoping you could get more out of it than I could. Were you able to learn anything?
Why don't I show you?
I pulled out the laptop and booted it up for Shina.
Thanks to this laptop, I can do research at night. So I appreciate you giving it to me.
Sure, I'm glad you find it useful. Didn't you need a password to access it, though?
Yeah, but I found this. You think Mizunashi wrote it?
Oh, that's his handwriting. My, where did you find this?
In the woods. I assumed it was related somehow, so I typed it in and the thing opened up.
Wow! Incredible! Glad I handed this to the right person.
I feel like Arata must have known. He had to. Because I feel like if Shina can't figure it out, yeah, she's not a programmer. But I don't know.
You might be the
Oh,
key
what
to
happened?
unlocking
Okay.
all the mysterious stuff on the laptop.
Don't exaggerate, it was a coincidence. Iris has that power too.